The Adelson crime family fancied themselves a dental dynasty until they let greed rot them from within, underneath their gleaming veneer. And they would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for those bumbling hitmen, or their loose-lipped girlfriend, or the mafioso LARPing son, or the psychopathic and self-important Look, you get the idea. Wendi, please don't sue us. We're sure that between her ears, Donna was the Dawn, barking orders at her capos, ordering hits like Takeout, and utterly untouchable to the unmade masses. She is on trial for allegedly masterminding a murder, arrested largely because she couldn't hang up a damn phone. A recorded line remained open as she revealed her plans to flee with a one-way ticket to Vietnam, a country with no extradition agreement. Police apprehended an indignant Donna Adelson as husband Harvey stood helpless, literally left holding the bag. Join us as we stare into the abyss of privilege, pettiness, and premeditation as we recap the first full week of testimony in her murder trial. Don't worry, I'm sure it will all work out just fine, because this is absolutely criminal. We have a lot of fun at the Adelsons' expense, and rightly so. But it's important to remember the man who's not here to give us his own opinions, legal and otherwise. Dan Markel was a successful attorney, a devout follower of his faith, and was doing his damn best to raise his two boys to be good people. Sadly, his sons no longer even bear his good name. July 18th, 2014 started as an ordinary day, as far as Dan was concerned. He went about his routine, dropping off his two sons at preschool before 9 a.m. He couldn't have known it, of course, but he was kissing his boys goodbye for the very last time. Dan would undoubtedly have given his own life to protect his children, but his life would be tragically wasted for no good reason. When he arrived at the gym for his morning workout just after 9, Danny Markel had less than 2 hours to live. He was followed around that morning by two hitmen. Luis Rivera rented the least inconspicuous getaway car you've ever seen, under his own identity, and two-bit gangster Sigfredo Garcia pulled the trigger, tragically ending the life of Dan Markel. This is a recap of the courtroom events from the week of Monday, August 25th, 2025. It includes the wiretaps that sank Donna's ship, but that's far from the most shocking thing you'll hear from this week's testimony. Monday. Georgia Kappelman began the week by bringing back a classic. Wendi Adelson, an unindicted co-conspirator, testified for the umpteenth time in murder trials related to her ex-husband. Wendi's only 46, but the poor thing seems to have a failing memory. There's something about a courtroom that impedes her ability to recall ordinary events, even ones she's previously recounted. She's forgotten more than you ever knew.
I honestly don't remember. I don't remember exactly. I don't think that's what I meant. I don't remember that. I don't remember feeling that way. I would just be guessing about that. I don't remember saying that. I don't remember ever saying that. I don't remember saying that, but I certainly might have.
If you'd like to see more of Wendi not remembering things, we've got a video containing 20 of the best highlights from her testimony. The link is on the screen and in the description. Don't forget to subscribe for more Adelson antics, and hitting the like button will help more people find us in the future. Wendi depicted Donna as the micromanager from hell, deeply ingrained in her life and especially her divorce. She testified that Donna designed her daughter's divorce and determined the damsel in distress was too damn good for Tallahassee. Donna was furious when a judge barred Wendi from moving her two children to South Florida.
How did your mom feel about Dan Markel in this time frame, 2012 to 2016?
And I think I think a lot changed between 2012 and 2016. So I think her feelings about him changed over time.
Okay, and what about in 2016? Did she hate Dan Markel?
No, not in 2016.
What about 2014? Did she hate him then?
No.
Did you say do you remember giving a law enforcement interview in reference to this case?
Yes, I remember.
That was the same day that Mr. Markel was shot, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and did you say in that interview, for court and counsel, I'm referring to page 288, lines 24 through 289, line 1, quote, "My parents have more reason to dislike Danny than almost anyone else"?
At that point, I was sitting with law enforcement for 6 hours and had just been told that Danny had been shot. So I was in shock, and I was trying to help the police think of anything I could possibly think of that would be helpful.
And are you suggesting that after 6 hours you became fatigued to the point that you started saying things that weren't true?
No, I didn't say anything that wasn't true. I just was in shock. I just kept talking and talking and talking.
Meanwhile, Adelson defense attorney Jackie Fulford cross-examined Wendi and highlighted that she never implicated her mother at the time of the murder and that she had no direct evidence against Donna. All she had was the defendant's bitter resentment towards Dan over the custody dispute. Robert Adelson's testimony followed, marking his first ever public statements about the case. Plenty of evidence has suggested that Donna has a firm grip on the family. She's always been the lead actor in the show, but what she really wants to do is direct. Oh, and she's also written the script. Little Robbie goes to med school and settles down with a nice Jewish girl, but not one that's funnier or smarter than herself. Robert, a New York physician, described Donna as a relentlessly involved mother with certain fixed ideas. If you went along, things were fine. If you didn't, things were not fine. He testified that Donna initially liked Dan, but after Wendi left the marriage, Donna's attitude flipped to hate. Crucially, Robert recounted the family's curious lack of curiosity after the murder.
On the 28th, did you talk to Donna Adelson?
Yes.
All right. And when she called you, was she telling you the good news that Danny's killers were arrested?
No, just called us for anniversary, and wished us well and had some small talk for a bit. I kind of let it go for a little bit. And I mean, this was not small news. And so I finally broached the topic and said, they found the guy, they arrested someone who killed Danny. There's no response. And I said it, at least 2 or 3 times that, they made an arrest. They got the guy who killed Danny. Yeah, and then her response was, I've got to go.
And then did she hang up the phone after that?
Yes.
Monday's testimony concluded with Tallahassee police officer Bill Brennan confirmed that on the morning of the crime, he saw Wendi drive up near the cordoned-off scene and then turn around. The unconcerned Adelson had errands to run, made a 3-point turn, and the rest is history. Tuesday proceedings were pivotal, featuring 7 witnesses and back-to-back bombshells. The star witness was Katherine Magbanua, who took the stand in the morning. Magbanua is the convicted go-between who linked Charlie Adelson to the hitman, and her testimony directly tied Donna into the plot, speaking in the same courtroom where she herself was convicted 3 years prior. Magbanua told jurors the truth needed to come out. Charlie consulted his mother Donna at every step of the Markel murder plot.
Sometimes he would get on the phone, he'd kind of look at me weird, and then just step out of the room and discuss whatever he needed to discuss.
She's going to give any information about what was discussed outside her presence.
Overrule is talking about what took place, not the substance of the conversation itself. You may continue.
All right, so he would step out, have a conversation with his mother, and then come back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you would resume the conversation about
he would just kind of go off again, saying that this needed to be taken care of and what his family was going through.
All right. How many times did this particular situation happen where you were discussing what would eventually become the murder and his mother was interjected in that way that you just described?
How many times did I think he stepped out and
Yes.
speak to him? A number of times.
More than twice?
Yes, ma'am.
More than 5 times?
Yes, ma'am.
So this was like a regular part of the way this worked whenever this conversation came up?
Yes,
He would
ma'am.
consult his mother and come back and speak to you.
Yes, ma'am.
One dramatic revelation was about the payoff money for the hit. Magbanua testified she received a bundle of cash from Charlie after the murder that was stapled together and oddly damp. When she asked about it, the good Dr. Chuck told her that his mom washed the money.
How was your cut of the money packaged?
It wasn't like a cut. It was just basically it was in a bag, in a plastic bag, grocery bag, and I believe there was like a paper bag and then a Ziploc bag inside it.
All right, so the inner thing was a Ziploc bag.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you opened the Ziploc bag, did you notice that the money was stapled together?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
It was, okay. Did you notice something else unusual about the money?
At that moment, I didn't when I opened it, but a couple of days after the fact, it was wet and starting to mold.
The money itself was damp to the touch.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, and did you ever mention that fact to Charlie Adelson?
I'm pretty sure I contacted him and told him why is the money wet.
What do you mean pretty sure? You did or you didn't?
That I didn't.
Okay, and when you contacted him and said the money's wet, or you just mentioned to him the money's wet, did he have a response?
Yes, ma'am. He told me.
Go ahead.
Told me that that his mom washed the money.
That she physically washed the money?
Yes, ma'am.
Allegedly, the geriatric genius herself literally laundered the cash. A bold choice, and one can only speculate on the motive behind such a move. But more importantly, Google was a thing way back in 2014, right? The defense? I can't imagine her putting it in the washing machine. Tossing in a little fabric softener. Sure, but why staple it while it's wet? Couldn't you have put it in the dryer too? I mean, my money's gone through the dryer. It comes out very crispy, you know. Okay. The defense posited that any knowledge Magbanua had about Donna's involvement came secondhand from Charlie, suggesting Katie might be assuming or exaggerating Donna's role to help herself. They highlighted that due to her life sentence, she could have motives to cooperate in hopes of future leniency. Magbanua remained firm, however, on 2 crucial points. Donna was the top of the chain, and Charlie was the middleman connecting them. Later on Tuesday, Wendy's ex-boyfriend Jeffrey Lacasse testified. He recounted that he heard the now famous hitman joke.
He knew Danny treated me badly, and it was always this joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV.
But without the big screen TV and not so much a joke.
Can I tell you something in confidence?
Yeah, can I tell you something? After I challenge her, can I tell you something in confidence? Sure. Well, last summer, my brother looked into all options possible to take care of the Denny Markell problem, including hiring a hitman, and it would cost about $15,000.
Okay, and when she referred to her brother, she's got 2 of those, right?
She said Charlie.
Okay. And when she said Charlie looked into hiring a hitman, are you familiar with Charlie's joke? I looked into hiring a hitman, but got you a TV as a divorce present because it was cheaper?
Yeah, Wendy had told me that joke a couple of times. This was not that joke.
Okay, so this was something different.
Yeah, the joke was said with levity. It's a dark joke, but this I found chilling. I found disturbing. It made my stomach flip. It kind of took me aback. It was, she was dead serious.
Lacasse also believed Wendy may have been trying to frame him in advance. Just before the murder, she seemed oddly interested in his exact plans for Friday, July 18th.
Tried to talk about the relationship. Didn't go very well. It was pretty clear to me. My internal thoughts were like, well, this is over. And she didn't want to spend time with me the rest of the week, so I just put my hands up like this. I remember this vividly and just turned around and walked away.
Where were you when that was happening?
We're in the parking lot of Journey's Yoga over by Winn-Dixie.
Okay, so you have your two respective vehicles there and
Yes.
you're parting ways.
Yes.
Okay, what happens as you walk away?
Get about 10, 15 feet away from her, and she calls after me. I turn around, and she had a series of detailed questions about what I would be doing on Friday. I had a trip to Tennessee planned, and she wanted to know if I was going on that trip, and she wanted to know what route I would be taking. And if I didn't go on the trip, why wouldn't I go on the trip? And I answered the questions as best I could, but I was confused why, at that moment, she wanted to know the details of what I was doing on Friday.
Why was Wendi so interested in his schedule for what turned out to be the fateful day? Later that morning, Jeff just happened to be driving the same highway route the killers took to flee Tallahassee. Whether that's a conspiracy or simply coincidence, only one woman knows, and she's not talking. Probably because she just forgot. Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday were comprised of nearly non-stop electronic evidence. The testimony brought forth a deluge of digital data, courtesy of 2 forensic investigators and an undercover cop. Wednesday, an incognito FBI agent detailed the bump, the undercover operation targeting Donna that was meant to shake up the action and get people talking to each other on monitored phone lines. An unnamed officer waited as she walked down the street after escorting her grandkids to school. And as if he was a character making an offer in every old-timey TV drama ever, he wrote a number down on a piece of paper and slid it over to Donna Adelson. On the paper, which contained an article about Dan Markel's death, a figure of $5,000 was written. It was meant to convey a message. And it worked to perfection. As Donna wasn't simply bumped, the grandmother was rocked. FBI Special Agent Pat Sanford introduced the result of that little nudge, a heated conversation between a freaked-out Donna and a puzzled son, both of which were talking in code, or were at least attempting to.
I've got some paperwork hand-delivered to me.
You're being sued?
No, that's what I thought it was, but I'm going to talk to you. I'll make you take me out to dinner, so make sure you bring cash with you.
Alright.
Okay?
Do I need to bring cash?
Yeah, if you take me out to dinner, I'm going to have to give you. That's probably a good idea, right?
Yeah. Was this, I should bring cash. I don't have much cash to bring.
Yeah, I'll see if I have my location and see what I can share. Okay.
Was it, can I ask you, is someone blackmailing you?
No, it's going to get popular.
Listen as they discuss a TV being about 5. It's a callback to Charlie Adelson's joke he told to Wendi when she was having her TV not repaired, that he was going to hire a hitman as a gift, but a TV was cheaper. He really shouldn't have lost his day job. Nice callback, though.
No, I don't know, this TV is probably about 5.
They asked you for $5,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Donna Adelson would eventually place a phone call to the undercover agent, whom she thought was the mysterious money-demanding man. He doesn't really sound like a gangster, and she doesn't sound like a criminal mastermind, but it all somehow just works.
This is my problem. You approached me on Alton Road. You handed me an article from the newspaper about my ex-son-in-law. You told me I need to call you and help your friend who was in prison. Now, at the time you did that, I didn't understand what you were talking about. I didn't call you back. Then you mail me a threatening letter. Then you send me a text message to my phone that says I'm not taking you seriously. So I am taking you seriously.
You know exactly what it has to do with. You talk to people, you make this 5K come to me. That's all I need. Just do it and get it to me. Bye.
Arguably, the most impactful moment of the day came during the phone records reveal. A voicemail message to Wendi Adelson, left by Dan Markel less than 2 hours before he was ambushed and shot. As the recording echoed through an absolutely silent courtroom, it's the first time we'd recall hearing Dan's voice, ever. In all sincerity, the moment was shocking when we first heard it, as we listened and fell silent like everyone in court. A stoic father, Phil Markel, looked on as his son's voice began to accompany the on-screen text.
Wendi receives a voicemail from Dan Markel.
Okay, and do you have that voicemail where you could play it for us?
I believe so.
Hey, Wendi. Good morning. It's 9 o'clock on Friday. Just wanted to take down something to pick the boys up early this afternoon and give them a swing. And then have the day for you around 4:30 or 5. Pick them up. Either at the jail or at the house. So let me know if that's okay with you. And also, I'd love to chat with you about that situation for school. And Thursday stuff and all that. I'm going to be at the gym probably between 9:15 and 10:30. But happy to chat. For a walk in school, just like that. Okay, bye.
What time was that voicemail left for Wendi Adelson?
9:04 a.m.
On Thursday, jurors watched the Dolce Vita restaurant video, a post-bump hidden camera recording of Charlie Adelson and Katherine Magbanua. It's when Charlie first implied the idea of extortion on layaway as he discussed the bump with his now ex-girlfriend.
And I know that you can help it advocate your family can help it advocate and her family. Now, two of those family needs your help. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, maybe this will refresh your memory. I just had to hand it to her. And she said, baby, since I love it, he well spoken. Like his wife is polite and well spoken. I said, did he act thug or did he have to talk with like a thick Spanish accent or anything? He said, no. I said, is he white or Hispanic? He said he was white, but he could have been Hispanic, but then yeah, because I mean, everyone in Miami is Hispanic, so it's like, you can't tell. I talked to you on the phone, so I talked to some like, Maria from West Side Story. But he could have been like, so he wasn't strong skinned. He had to run the food, but it's like full down, which is very recognizable.
Charlie Adelson went on to do his best mob tough guy impression when he wondered what he should do about his family's new problem.
He himself, you better kill him because it's going to be a big problem. And he knows who you are, and if he can't do it, he'll have someone else do it. And so help me God, they probably wouldn't be ladies. Like money is not an issue. It will be done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't care what I spend today. I swear to God.
The defense had limited opportunities during Sanford's lengthy testimony. They did, however, conduct some cross-examination, mainly to clarify context. For instance, defense attorney Jackie Fulford asked Sanford whether after the bump, the Adelsons figured it was law enforcement behind it. Sanford agreed they eventually did. Fulford also underscored that no explicit words like kill or murder were spoken on the calls. However, Agent Sanford was firm that in context the meaning was clear. Like when Charlie said he paid to have something done, it obviously referred to the murder plot. By the end of Thursday, the state had essentially put Donna's conspiracy with Charlie on full display via their expansive audio evidence. The big news that closed out the week were two jailhouse informants who claimed Donna offered them money, commissary food, and even a grand piano if they would lie for her. First up was Patricia Bird, a fellow inmate in the Leon County lockup who became friendly with Donna. Bird's testimony delivered a bombshell headline. Donna Adelson confessed to her. Bird testified that during a conversation, she straight up asked Donna if she did what she's accused of.
when y'all would have those conversations, did you ever outright ask her whether she did what she's accused of?
I did.
And what did she say to that?
She said she did. It was to keep her grandkids, but it wasn't supposed to go that far.
Okay. So she said she did do it, and she did it to keep her grandkids.
Yes.
But she didn't expect it to go this far.
Yes.
Bird also testified that Donna attempted to bribe her for help. According to Bird, Donna offered her a trailer, dental work, and other gifts if Bird would lie and say that Katherine Magbanua confessed to the extortion installment plan. Next came Drina Evangelina Bernhard, another inmate who said she and Donna grew close, that the bastion of sincerity herself called her a jailed daughter, and the honorary Adelson's testimony was equally astonishing as Bird's. The state entered into evidence a handwritten script that Donna allegedly wrote for Drina, later authenticated by the testimony of a handwriting expert. It contained a list of questions and answers containing the false narrative Donna wanted told on the record.
This says that you approached Mrs. Adelson and told her you had information about Kay that you wanted to give her. Is that true?
No.
This says that Kay told you that she told Charlie on the night of the murder that some friends of hers went to Tallahassee and killed him. Did Kay ever tell you that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. She asked him to give her the 1/3 of $1 million that he was going to pay his sister so that she could relocate with her children to Miami. He went crazy on her. He said that he was going that was going to be an offer to his brother-in-law not to kill him. Did Kay ever say any of that to you?
No, ma'am.
And then over here continues, but she convinced him that the murderers think a woman is paying for this. They don't know Charlie. She told him she wouldn't tell her friends who he is. She can keep him safe. So she was, according to this story, extorting money out of Charlie, but he didn't know it. He thought she was his friend, but really she was his enemy. Is that the deal?
Yes, I suppose that's what it's supposed to be.
All right, and did Katherine Magbanua ever say any of that to you?
No.
Bernhard stated that Donna love-bombed her with small favors, buying her commissary snacks and phone time, and promised much more if she helped, specifically $10,000 and a grand piano. Oh, and drugs. Mama Donna allegedly learned Bernhard to be a recovering drug addict and promised her narcotics.
Did she give you anything or promise you anything in exchange for reciting this script?
Well, I was in jail. I received packages and phone calls, and I was promised things as well.
What type of packages?
Packages are in jail just like a bunch of basically gas station food, but it's exciting when you're in jail.
Okay, and what about phone calls? What do you mean by that?
Just the phone calls are very expensive from jail, so she would let me use her phone to call my mother and other people.
Okay, and you said she promised you other things in the future. What other types of things?
$10,000, a grand piano.
What else?
She promised me cameras, but
none of that came to fruition?
No.
Okay. And what about pills? Did she mention anything to you about pills?
Yes, that if I needed pills, that I could call a doctor named, I think, Obed. I think that's his name.
Okay.
Yes.
And that person would write you some prescriptions?
Yes, ma'am.
And why would you be in need of prescription medication?
I'm a recovering drug addict.
The defense floated the idea that the script was Drina's idea, and she manipulated Adelson into writing it, but Bernhard stuck to her story that Donna conceived it and urged her to memorize it. At the end of the day, Friday, the prosecution rested their case without calling Charlie Adelson, turning it over to Jackie Fulford and the defense. After we got over our disappointment of no Dr. Chuck, we began to look forward to the coming week, which will feature the defense's strategy briefly alluded to in their opening. If you're as excited as we are, please subscribe to be notified of more on the Donna Adelson trial and the family affair at large. For now, I'm Tiffie Lou, reminding you to keep your alibi straight, choose your jailed daughters with care, and let the darkness come alive.